Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, and today I'm a pretty happy bunny, because I've been waiting for a while to find out what those pre-release promos from Brilliant Stars are going to be, and today they've finally actually gone and shown us what those pre-release promos from Brilliant Stars are going to be, and I am delighted. Remember, you get one of these 4 stamped with the Brilliant Stars logo at random in your build and battle kit. That's if you're playing the pre-release game. Otherwise, your build and battle stadium will have 2 build and battle kits with 2 promos, 1 in each, for if you're buying them after the pre-release. And I'll be honest with you, here, as far as I'm concerned, and we're going to rank them, we always rank them, that's kind of our thing here, but there are 2 which are significantly better than the others. So, might as well start off in at number 4 with Moltres. This might just be me. You can probably put it up to number 3 if you like. I wouldn't put it any higher than number 3 here. Now, Moltres here, it's fine, alright? 1 fire energy, 20 damage, but if you've got any damage counters on, you deal 70 more. Now, the reason this is in this particular set is because we've got that new Magma Basin Stadium card that puts a fire energy on from your discard to one of your bench fire Pokemon at the cost of taking 2 damage counters. So the theory here is really simple. You take the damage counters onto Moltres while attaching the energy, then you hit for 90 damage. And on the one hand, yeah, because you don't hit for weakness. If you hit for weakness, you even get Cricketune here, which is mildly amusing, but this would be cool. Not hitting for weakness, 70 damage is still good. Because, in fact, it's not even 70, is it? It's 90. 90 damage is better than 70. But the fact of the matter is, yes, you'll be getting your pre-evolutions. Yes, you'll be getting some support Pokemon like Chinchino, but without hitting for weakness, you are going to be a little bit behind. If you were hitting for weakness, you would be able to attach that new choice belt I showed you the other day, and then you would be able to do, well, you'd be up to 240 at that point with weakness, and then you'd be getting a 1-hit KO on Genesect, and at that point, I am in. But you're not hitting for weakness. And honestly, right, when we come here, I really do think not hitting for weakness is a genuinely big deal. Because with stuff like Genesect rolling around, having a single energy basic Pokemon that could take it out would be awesome. There are reasons to play Moltres. And honestly, the number one reason for me is early game. Because if I go second, turn 1, Magma Basin onto Moltres, hit for 90 damage. If you've got a single prize Pokemon in the active, I'm probably KOing it. And even if it's a Pokemon V, and I'm not getting a KO, especially with not hitting for weakness, but I am still getting a decent amount of damage on the field turn 1. That's not terrible. But the fact that it doesn't hit for weakness really holds it back for me. I like it, don't get me wrong, but it's not. It's not perfect, I think is fair to say. I should mention as well that the images we've got here are also very much not perfect. We're doing the best we can. Moltres, we do have a nice clear image. The rest, I'm sorry, we don't. But in at number 3, we've got Lucario. And Lucario is one of these that might not be as good as I think it is. But for me, it's going to be a little bit of a pet deck, and I love it. Like I've said, if you want to switch around Lucario and Moltres, I'm not going to be offended, but I really do think there is a clear 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4. So Lucario's got a really nice ability. Once during your turn, you can put 2 damage counters on the Pokemon, and search for a fighting energy, and attach it. So you've got some energy acceleration built in, which is nice. You've then got the attack for 2 fighting energy that does 10 damage base, and you discard all the fighting energy attached to this Pokemon, and deal 60 more for each one discarded in this way. Alright. I'm kind of okay with this. I mean, you should be hitting a pretty easy 130. With Choice Band, that's a pretty easy 160. That's a 2-hit KO on basically any Pokemon V, including V-Star and V-Max. On a single prize Stage 1 Pokemon, where you only really need to attach a single energy to it, I could get on board with this. It's quite weak, 120 HP on a Stage 1's kind of awkward, I admit that entirely, but the idea of having a Stage 1 Pokemon that's basically single energy, and if you've been following this channel and my exploits playing for a little while, you'll know that is my dream scenario, and I would love to be getting up to KOing Pokemon V in 1 hit. That'd be pretty sweet. I don't think it's on the card, if I'm honest with you, and that does make me a little bit sad, but you can't have it all, ladies and gentlemen. you can't have it all. I think this is a legit good single prize deck in the waiting. I like it at number 3. I do not regret putting it at number 3. But if you want to swap this and Moltres round, I shan't be offended. In at number 2, we've got Liepard. And just like I think you can swap 3 and 4 around, I think you can swap 1 and 2 around. Although, let's be clear, I do not want to. I think Liepard is clearly number 2. And the only other one left is number 1. Now, Liepard's attack is rubbish. 2 energy, 60 damage, nobody cares. But it's got Cinccino's ability. And when I say it's got Cinccino's ability, I literally mean it's got Cinccino's ability. You discard a card from your hand and draw 2 cards. It is the exact same ability. Now, it does have 10 more HP, which gives it slightly more survivability, which is nice. But remember, that extra 10 HP also means you can't use Level Ball to search it out, which could be a little bit of a downside. Depends what your opponent's playing and how easily they can hit the bench and things of that nature. But I like this. It's good. I have used an obscene amount of Cinccino in my decks. My Excadrill focus decks I've been playing for a while now. Wow, well, they've kind of dropped off, then they went a bit rubbish. But I was playing for a while through Players Cup 1 and 2. They were all built around Cinccino. Cinccino's great. Properly great, and I love it. I am a huge Cinccino fan. I don't like Liepard quite as much because I really think Cinccino had a good attack. 40 damage, accelerating energy. I won a bunch of games with that attack. By doing just a little bit of damage and getting an energy back, that allowed me to finish out the game in a way that I wouldn't have been able to otherwise. In those games, playing Liepard, I'd have lost. And it makes me sad that I'm not able to use Level Ball, but I think this is just an inherently great ability. And honestly, until we rotate, that'll be kind of end of August, beginning of September this year, 2022. Until Cinccino rotates, I'll probably always go Cinccino over Liepard. But then we are going to rotate. And as soon as we rotate, and you ain't got a choice no more, better start getting your Liepard out. And that means that in at number 1, we've got Bibarel. Now, I'm a little bit torn when it comes to Bibarel. Because on the one hand, we've got really lovely artwork by Misa Sutsui. Apologies for the pronunciation there. And on the other hand, the regular Bibarel's got Okacheke artwork, and you don't need me to tell you at this stage how I feel about that particular artist. They are my absolute favourite in the Pokemon TCG. So I love that Bibarel's being given out as a pre-release promo. I think that's wonderful. I think that's great for the game. But I'm going to play a bunch of Bibarel in my deck. I'm pretty sure I am. And there is absolutely no way I'm going for the pre-release print. That's not to say I don't want one in my binder. It's beautiful artwork. But it absolutely is to say that I'm never going to choose that. Now, in terms of the attack, let's not get particularly excited. 3 energy, 100 damage on a stage 1 would not be good. But you even have to flip a coin, and if tails, you do nothing. So it's a bad attack that you have to flip a coin just in order to be able to use. But the ability lets you draw until you got 5 cards in your hand. And that's amazing. It's kind of like a stage 1 Genesect. Now, Genesect draws until you got as many cards in your hand as you do Fusion Strike Pokemon in play, which if you're doing things right will be 6. So okay, it's 1 less, but it's a single prize Pokemon, and it sits on your bench and it's really quite good. This is not limited. I mean, it's limited to once per Bibarel, obviously. But if you've got multiple Bibarel out, you can use this multiple times during your turn, and it's really, really, really good. Like, I genuinely love this. I think it is a fantastic ability. I think it is going to see a huge amount of play. And you'll notice I put this as number 1 over Liepard. And honestly here, I think it's a better ability. I could be wrong. Like I say, I love me some Cinccino. This is not me dissing Cinccino and therefore Liepard. I've used that ability so much over the past few years. I adore it. But when I put them side by side and I think about decks I want to build, I'd rather have Bibarel. Sorry. The thing is, these are good pre-release promos. Like, Bibarel and Liepard are legit probably the 2 best single prize draw engines we're going to have. Having both of them as pre-release promos is amazing. Lucario is a good single prize Pokemon, which I think is going to make a really good deck. And Moltres, although it doesn't hit for weakness and that still makes me sad, I do really appreciate the fact that we are still getting it, and I really like that it can do good damage for a single energy, especially especially in the early game, I think this one could be awesome. And while we're here, I do just want to give a quick shout out to the artist of the Moltres, that is Kanda, who is a very new artist, Shinji Kanda, in the Pokemon TCG. Literally just did Magmar and Sork from Starbirth. That was it. Starbirth, we had 2 new cards. That were the only ones we had. And now we've got this alternate art, and we've seen a lot of new artists in the Pokemon TCG over the last couple of years. This is another one, and it's not my preferred favourite, but that's not the point. Not everybody out there thinks Okacheke is the best artist in the game, which is weird to me, but whatever. I love that they're having new artists, different artists, and it seems like when they find an artist they like, you know, it's not just the odd card here or there. They let them go, and I, for one, am delighted. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. And weirdly, the promotional image they've given us of these cards is literally just my list if you look left to right. Bibarel 1, Liepard 2, Lucario 3, Moltres 4. I didn't do it deliberately, but I kind of love that it worked out that way. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it's over to you guys. You know that I want the Bibarel at this stage, although I kind of want the Lucario and the Liepard and the Moltres as well. But I want to know which ones you want to pick up. I want to know which one you're hoping for when you go to your pre-release. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.